Let's sit and talk. We so hello, just make it drop. We so hello, let's switch the clock. We so hello, just make it stop. We so hello, hello, hey, hello, hello, oh yeah.
Your move, my move. Let's go. Ha. You first. Your move, my move. Ha. Yeah. Nice word. Your move, my move. Hold up. Bring it back one time. Your move, my move. Freestyle, real dope.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Zemina on the mic. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, click that button so you could see more videos. This is my world. I know y'all can see that button, okay? So y'all is not blind, because listen, my vision is a little rough. You feel me? But today's video is basically starting out in the music industry. I'm gonna tell y'all
Come on now, dog.
how I got started in the music industry. And today, you see what we got going on, just to give y'all a little sign. We got the little pink vibes for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You know, I got my little, check out the little style, you know. I got my little earrings on. And then I also got a little lighting up here too. I got my little pink just to represent, as well as my light, just to give y'all a little shush, you know. Everybody, you know, just support. You know, there's people in my family who's been through that, so we're giving pink. On top of that, it's my favorite color there. Okay, favorite color. I can't even talk. Look at the ring. Got that little pink stone in it. Okay, period. And since I showed y'all my little pink shoes, let me give y'all a little taste of that outfit too, because you know I got the little little chill vibe, you know, a little zhuzh, you know. Y'all don't want to see my slippers, but listen, these slippers are like fire. Like, look at these little tough things over here. Come on now, like y'all know I had to do the little slipper Jordans. Okay, listen, they got fashion. They a little style, all right? Their style. If y'all want to know, like, their style. But I don't remember where I got it from. But it was a gift for me, actually. So I can't really tell y'all where I got it from. Yikes. Let's get back into this video. You know, I'm goofy. Hello, by the first one. But if you guys want to know, like, the first song in the beginning, it was called Unlevel. That is literally the first song I've written fully. So like made a full cover song from like top to bottom, but it was my first singing song. Let me correct that. My first singing song. So if you guys are trying to hear what it is, you can go on my YouTube, my Spotify. It's been up there for a minute. So if you guys want to listen to it, go take a listen. But on the side note, we're gonna get into this video, how I really got started. Let me keep it real with y'all. I never knew I had this talent, okay, let alone I knew my family did music and stuff, but my vision was on something else. It was not on, you know, getting into the passion and the gifts that I do have, that I'm blessed with. But let me tell you, I didn't know. Okay. I would say I've always written, like, that is something I've always done. So even when I was younger, I used to do, like, write little diaries here and there. Remember in the first video, for the people who are new, in the first video, I literally said that, I used to write dear diaries about like everything that was going on in my life, you know, things you go through, even desires, dreams, goals, aspirations, and even just writing about what happens in that moment. Because when you're in high school, you're not really knowing what's gonna happen or where you're gonna transform into or what gifts you're gonna be given. So let me tell you, it took me a minute. But my diaries I used to write every day transitioned into actually poetry. I've always been interested in poetry. Like, Maya Angelou is one of my favorite. Oh my God. Like, one of my favorite poetry artists. Like, if you don't know who she is, have you been living under a rock? Like, what are you doing? Go take a listen. I even listen. Just hear her speak, like, it's just the fluidity of it all. Like, it is just beautiful, you know. If you haven't known her books, she's written Why Cage Bird Sings. You don't know that book, go read it. It is amazing. It's super dope. I actually read it in college, and it is so amazing. But I actually took a poetry class in college, literally. And I've learned about so many other different like Langston Hughes. The list really goes on. It is so many talented poets. But really, that's how I got started with me learning how to write music, if you could say in terms of that. But it was all about studying too for me. You really want to study the craft that you fall behind. I've actually said this in my first video. You don't ever want to misstudy something, okay? I had to learn that with my vocals. I had to relearn my vocals, and I had to learn it. So with writing, this is like starting from the top for me. But I actually, in high school, I wrote my first I can't speak today. Why can't I speak? I wrote my first poem, and like, you know, my teacher liked it, and she was getting everybody to look around to get up and read. Mind you, I told you guys too, I do not like speaking in like front of people. I'm very shy. I get very quiet and very like into myself. But I know y'all wondering like, how you getting into this industry? Like, come on now, like, you're gonna be on stage all the time. I know, trust me, I know. We learn, we're growing, trust me. You know, I did perform my first poetry type vibe 2 years ago, but we'll get to that at a later date. But back to when I wrote my first poetry, it was actually in high school. And, you know, I'm not the type of person that likes to get up and talk to people. But, you know, after class it was done, I was so grateful. I was looking at the clock. I kept looking at the clock because I didn't want to speak. And she was going around in circles. You didn't really have to, but she wanted people to, like, you know, get up and read and show their little talent. But I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But after class, she was like, you know, Z, you have like a really, like, I loved your poem. I really wished you gotten up and read it. Not a lot of people have your talent. And that's the first time I was like, wow, like, you actually liked it? Because like, to me, it was like, it was okay. Like, I don't remember if I had help on this, but I think that I did write this myself, come to think about it, you know. Like I told you, I do get my talent from my dad, and I've always asked to my dad for advice in terms of writing because he's very good at it, and that's where I get it from. But when she said that, you know, I eventually went back home and I started writing my poetry like every day. Okay, like, listen, I wanted to get my practice up, my little talent up, but that's something secretly nobody never knew I had, and that's something I kept. I never really took it seriously, but you know, we're here now, so So we're gonna fast forward to like college. You know, I've always been the person who loved to write. I was literally a nerd in college, okay? Like, I loved it. They would look at me like, Z, I know you read the book already, so what is it? I'm like, if you don't read your own book, and like, come on now, like, go home and like, you know, I help people out a little bit, but no, you need to read that yourself. What am I? No. I guess they thought I was like a human dictionary, but I'm learning like y'all too. Like, I'm in class. Hello. I'm trying to learn, you know, my dreams and goals and aspirations. But I get it. You know, people want to, I did help them from time to time, and they saw that like I did this every day and I was like on time with my work. I was that type of person in college. I was a nerd. Like I told y'all, I did not like being behind at all. So I like to get stuff, you know, done in a head, period, you know. But back to the writing situation. I continued writing throughout college, but it got put on the back burner. You know how things go. You're in your 20s. You kind of experiment a little different things. You're trying to be adventurous. So you don't know which route you're going to take or what gifts are kind of going to fall on your lap, per se. And you're kind of going to go to that route. You know, it's really fun. Your 20s is when you're just having fun and you kind of just go out there to see what you really want, you know? So that was me. So, you know, in terms of like, you know, just writing, I know that I eventually did transition into singing. Like, I feel like I've always sang from here and there. Like, back in high school, I'll never forget a story how we were in a living room, my best friend and my grandmother, and we were singing. So eventually I came out of nowhere and I hit a note. I think it was the song by Monica. I forgot the name of it, but I'm not even sure. Like, it was a song by her, I remember though. And I hit a note and they just looked at me like where did that come from? Like, honestly, I didn't know where that came from either. Like, I went back to the shy girl phase because they were staring at me, and I don't like when people stare at me, guys. Like, even though you guys are like watching me, I'm just here like talking in my room, but it's those moments that kind of pin me back because I'm like, is that a bad stare, or are you guys like, wow, like you have a nice voice, you know? But they eventually told me like, you know, you should like keep singing. But I listen, I was young, come on. But let's fast forward to when I went to my best friend's house, and you know, we were in her living room, and I just decided to like, you know, sing or whatever. And I showed her like my singing voice. She's always known I could sing. I used to sing with her outside in my living room, in my room. We all used to go like back and forth singing different like songs. You know, When You Believe by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. Yes. So we used to go back and forth with that, just practicing. And you know, people often used to ask me, you know, won't you sing? And I'm like, no! I used to like lean back like, no, like I'm not gonna sing. But with my best friend, kind of helped me in terms of like going into, I guess you could say not just my best friend, but my family. They helped me going into transitioning into like going into music. I remember one day, like, we're going to talk about that and how, like, you know, she kind of, like, you know, pushed me a little bit. It was more like one day we were sitting at our counter and she was like, you should rap. Remember I told y'all that? And she just looked at me like, yeah, we're going to work on that. We did work on it. Trust me. Okay. We definitely did. But in terms of that, like, listen, y'all, as I always say, practice, practice, practice. It's repetition. It's always being every day. So you want to be good at that. But I eventually went home and I was like, you know what? Let me rap. I mean, my dad did it. You know, he used to be in the streets talking about back and forth, you know, just rhyming with people and stuff like that. And like, listen, they don't want to go up against him. They don't want none of that. Like, come on now. Period. A battle was a battle. Like, battle. But I went home and I eventually started practicing. We also started doing like little freestyles from here and there. I also will tell you guys about how I wrote my first song ever in another video. We'll talk about that later, but we're just talking about, you know, how I did get started in the music industry and kind of what led up to me like writing and everything, and kind of rapping too. So I went home and I started practicing every single day, trying to learn the rhymes, trying to stay on beat, because let me tell you, there's a lot of rappers out here, including me, that did not know how to stay on beat. Okay, that is the one key thing too when it comes to rapping, and also how to get your flow. You gotta be hardcore a little bit. You gotta learn your flow. You gotta you know, like you gotta learn, you know, like I'm floating my way to the water, see myself on the NY Times, striking it back as I sing nine lives, never look up on the way to the boulder, see sometimes the shit get colder, breathe every time they say catch the mic, you know, stuff like that. That was something I wrote and like featured on my brother's song, and it was super dope. It was super fun. It takes me a minute to write a song, but I like to bring the clarity, bring what you guys are feeling or what you guys are going through in that moment. I really like to rhyme a little bit. I bring my poetry flow into it too, so you know, I'm gonna tell y'all where to check it out. But back to just like me and going home to practice, I eventually started writing. Let me show y'all this little Z-Mina's lyric book, which was my first thing I started writing in. I didn't have like a big book. I'm very old school. Like, people started getting into like doing songs in their phones. That wasn't me, you know. Like, I'm very like kind of real, like I said, I'm very old school. I write, like, till this day I have massive books, like a lot of like books that I write in from time to time, you know, when I'm feeling like I want to listen to a beat in my headphones and I'm bopping, and you know, I want to pull out my phone and, you know, I want to write something, I'll do it. But in the meantime, we gonna take up this pen and we gonna write it down. Okay? So just looking at this book, look, I don't know what I was drawing here. I think I drew it at work. What is that? You know, I draw too. I'm gonna tell y'all too about that. But we talking about some little things. Like, I wrote songs. I remember the song called Liar. I don't know what I was doing in that moment. Who knows? It's just so much in this book that I could probably go on for days with all this. I wrote a song called Queens. Like, it was just so much. You see the scratches and stuff I wrote, like, literally. It's just so much in this book that's good memories too. So this book is where it started. And I'm also going to talk about in another video my first, you know, song I ever wrote was in this book. So you guys will hear that, will see that too as well. But, you know, with my rapping skills, I got it from my father. You know, he's a writer. He was on the radio back in the day years ago. That's where I got my talent, my repetition. But I would be grateful and blessed to even get to where he is, because, guys, he is a legendary legacy in my eyes, because of the fact that his rapping skill, his flowetry, is something a lot of us try to get to. It's like that old school swag, but it's also like, damn, like, you know, let me go home and let me, you know. You know how if y'all ever been to a J. Cole concert, right? He be sitting up there, like, he be like, let me talk to y'all for a minute, you know? Got the mic, got the stool sometime, and he giving y'all true life lessons, you know? Like, that's how my dad is in his music. And, like, you be like, dang, you go out the concert like, yo, I need to change my life. Like, I need to set my goals. I need to do what I gotta do. I need to go head first. I need to attack it. Like, don't ever sit in my ideas. Like, go after what you want. You want this dream, go for it. So literally. And, you know, my dad, he's like, in terms of just the rapping, like, that's how you want your flowetry and everything to be. And that's what I see and I envision too, you know. So I'm like, you know, in terms of writing, I'm like, damn, I gotta get my skills up, you know. I got this. But you learn, it's a lot of repetition too. So, you know, it's so dope. It's so free. Even when you're freestyling, it's pretty amazing. So I did learn a talent that I did have to research. I had to practice on. I had to study. I had to look behind its history in rapping, you know. That's something I had to learn for myself. So it was basically like writing. Like, if I was writing in my poetry, you know, that's how I had to learn rap, you know. And let me tell you, my best friend was a rapper. She was always that person that went up on stage for me to have me get the you know, the confidence to get up on stage. And I always thank her for that too. So it's same thing with my bro. They always perform and stuff like that. So seeing them, I'd be like this. I'd be like, oh my God, I want to do it. But then I don't even do it. Like, come on, sis. But it does, I'm not going to lie, it gives me motivation to, like, want to perform. And even doing this YouTube channel gave me motivation for that. But, you know, I never forget the time my best friend performed poetry. She was nervous, and I could hear her nerves. It was like, yeah, and I wanted that. And then she started rapping, and I was just like, oh my God, like, I'm feeling the nerves from here. But she started telling people, like, I'm an artist, and everybody was like, looked at me like, why you ain't perform? You could have got up on stage. In the back of my mind, I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, I should have got up in there. I should have performed. I should have showed y'all my talents. Because, you know, on the inside, it's just like, it's not working, or I have to tweak this. But honestly, y'all, that's some excuses. Like, girl, what you doing? Get it together. Okay, Zemina, get it together. You got this. You feel me? So I had to get it together because I love this industry that I'm in. I love the music, and music is always my passion. I'm super lyricist. I love being lyrical. I love listening to words. Words is what catches me first. Phrases, anything, the storytelling behind it, that's what catches me, you know? That's what's in my music too. So the poetry, everything is what's in my music, okay? Even me singing, I got my talents from my mama, don't forget it. She was in a choir, but my little singing voice I got from her. She's a legacy in my eyes always too, because I don't know where would I be without this. Hello? You know? But eventually throughout these, I've been doing music for maybe about more than 5 years now. I eventually started learning how, and I'm still practicing, but learning how to rap, learning how to sing, learning how to practice your vocals. I eventually learned all of that, and it kind of shaped me. And I was like, wow, there's so much studying, as if you're studying any craft you do, whether it's you're painting, you're writing a book, or fashion even. Like, it's everything is an art. It's about studying what you love to do. So even in that moment, you know, I had to learn. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us had to learn eventually, like, duh. But, you know, getting into the music industry, I'm actually happy I did. I will too also tell you how, like, my first time in the studio, I'm not gonna talk about it now because I kind of I want to keep y'all in y'all seats. Like, I want to get y'all trembling to what's coming up, what she gonna talk about next, you know? Like, I want to get you guys excited, you feel me? So I'm gonna talk about that later, but that's kind of like how it got started and how I did get started in music, and kind of me learning, as well as I'm still practicing engineering. That's something that is so hard, but I know I will get it. You know, I also do play a little bit of guitar and stuff. I do a lot. Like, I do a lot. Like, let's just say that. Like, I'm a very artsy, creative person. So music kind of transformed me and molded me in a way, and it kind of spoke to me. But the true thing at the end that I do want to tell you guys here is my big mama is the reason why I truly got started. When she passed away, I always say, look, my tattoo, I'm gonna show you my tattoo right now. Like, she is the dream catcher to my story. Like, just look at that. She always is. I got this tattoo in terms of her, because I could have went left, I could have went right. You never know what stuff happens, but literally after I heard the news, I picked up my guitar, I went on a porch, and I started playing this tune, and it was raining. So I was like, you know what? I want to transform. I want to take this serious. I want to go after my dream. I want to make myself proud, but I want to make her proud, you know? Like, she's in my Aquarius queen. And I say that because we're both Aquariuses. So, yes, I'm an Aquarius. But I say that in terms of just find something positive that you guys love. And no matter what, keep going after that dream. Don't ever give up. Go after that passion, no matter how hard, because you're going to get sent trials and tribulations. You're gonna get sent like challenges. So many things are gonna be thrown your way, but remember, they're getting thrown your way for a reason, because you can do it. You feel me? Just give me a little bit of motivation. But I don't want to keep y'all long. Like, y'all want to hear me talk? Like, no, y'all do not want to hear me talk. Okay, like, who wants to hear me talk? You want to see like my actual listen, like. So, listen, let me show y'all something, okay? These, they're so cute. Look at these. They're so cute. Like, come on now, these little Slippy Jordans. I have a little bit short of issues, so don't worry. I'm okay. But, guys, listen, this is the end of my story. No, it's not the end. It's the beginning. Like, West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground. That's where I spend most of my days.
Come here, look at me. Hey, look at me. What'd I say? No.
Like, and first of all, I was born and raised in Jersey, period. Represent. So that is my story about how I got started in the music industry. I gave you snippets here and there about, like, you know, my passions, who is behind me. I always have my village, my whole team, and who inspired me to do this in music and get started, which is really my family. I always say Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, J. Cole, Chris Brown. Those are all my inspirations too. But my real idolizations and the real people that impacted me in my life was my family. So this is the reason why I do this. This is the reason why I keep going. This is the reason why I'm going to stay going. And why I'm going to get on that mic and you will see me on a stage one day. You feel me? Let me stop. You are going to see me on a stage one day. But, you know, this is the reason why I ain't never stopping. You feel me? Like, this is a dream. When you have a dream, let's just say a goal, you go after it. No matter who's in your ear telling you this and that, don't get out of my ear, bro. I don't want to hear that. Like, I'm going to do what I got to do for me. I got an idea and I ain't sitting on it. I'm going to go after it. You feel me? Like, come on now. But y'all, it's been real. On Zemina on the mic channel. You know, I love that y'all into, you know, just watching me come into my world. You know, if you want to listen to more of my music, check out my Spotify, Zemina. Go look at my YouTube music as well. It's the name Zemina, so go check it out. It's on Spotify and Apple Music too. Go take a look into my world. I love that you guys are here and you're listening and you seeing my little goofy stuff. But it's been real, y'all, as I always say. You know, check out the next video, which is coming soon. Zemina on the mic. I'm out.